Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies, and today I'm going to do a, finally, a movie review of, Dune. Yes, Dune, 2021, this year. Now, you may be wondering how the hell did I watch it, in the cinema. Well, I did watch it in the cinema. Here's the proof. Here's the proof, guys. Here's the movie ticket. So, yeah, I'm lucky enough to be in one of the first few countries to be able to watch Dune. In fact, one of the first Asian countries to ever receive a wide release, a wide cinematic slash theatrical release of Dune. So, I'm really happy to be able to review it. But I just wish that I've watched it in an IMAX cinema because while the screen was pretty big in that cinema, it could be bigger. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, Dune is undoubtedly the most anticipated film of the entire 2021. There has been a lot of hype built up towards Dune. So in case you don't know this movie is actually based off of the novel Dune by writer Frank Herbert, and it is the definitive sci-fi novel of all times. It inspired everything from Star Wars to Star Trek to 2001 A Space Odyssey to The Terminator. It is one of the most seminal and one of the most influential works of fiction in ever, basically. So, Dune is a novel that a lot of directors and filmmakers have been dying to adapt. In the 70s, Chilean director Alejandro Jodorowsky tried to make Dune in his own style. And if you don't know this, Jodorowsky is a director well known for his very surreal and eccentric style. I mean, just watch The Holy Mountain. But of course, given that the budget of that film is incredibly high, and the fact that Jodorowsky wanted his Dune to be at least 10 to 14 hours long, at last Jodorowsky failed to make it, making it the greatest sci-fi movie never made. And about 10 years later, a young David Lynch was chosen to make Dune in his own style, and David Lynch is a director that I really respect. I really like his work in Twin Peaks and Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive, but I think we all know that Dune is not one of the best Lynch's works because David Lynch is not a sci-fi guy. You know, sci-fi is not his strong suit. So giving Dune to David Lynch may not be that great of an idea, even though I'm still a huge David Lynch fan. Then it's been decades after decades where nobody has ever really tried to put Dune on the big screen. I mean, there are TV miniseries, but none of them really work until we have the incredibly promising director Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve has been in a role in the 2010s after Incendie and Prisoners. He came out with Arrival and Sicario and Blade Runner 2049, and they are all great. And it just goes to show that Denis Villeneuve likes trying out different genres, and he's really good at adapting, which makes him the perfect candidate to finally make the definitive film of Dune. So, fast forward, we are in the year 2021. Dune is made. It has an all-star cast, all the way from Timothée Chalamet to Zendaya to Rebecca Ferguson to Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac. We have Stellan Skarsgård, Jason Momoa. We have Javier Bardem, and a bunch of others that I've probably forgot the name of. Dave Bautista. It's just incredibly stacked. And It is one of the most hyped up films of the entire year, if not the most hyped up. It's so hyped up that even in Hong Kong, there are a lot of people who are incredibly excited about the release of Dune. So, essentially, Dune is a story about Arrakis. Arrakis is a planet which is completely filled with desert. Now, I might be wrong. I'm not an expert. I actually have not read the novel, so I may get a few things wrong. I may get a few characters' names wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. But Arrakis is a planet filled with deserts, and it is a dangerous planet because in the deserts there is a sandworm. It is incredibly huge and it swallows everyone and everything. If it hears you, it will swallow you. And on Arrakis, there are people living there, and they are called the Fremens. They are the indigenous people of Arrakis. But one great thing about Arrakis is that it is full of spice, and spice is the most powerful item in the entire universe in the world of Dune. So because of that, a lot of powerful people have been trying to exploit this planet. So we have the Harkonnens, and they are kind of like savages. They went to Arrakis, abused a lot of the indigenous people, and basically exploited them for spice. For some reason, the Harkonnens left, and the higher ups, the most higher up, the imperial people, they decided to invite the Atreides to Arrakis. Now, who are the Atreides? The Atreides is like a royal house, and the Harkonnens left, the Atreides come. Except, unbeknownst to Atreides, they have been tricked. They weren't invited to Arrakis to get more spice and make more profit. They were invited to Arrakis to die, because it's such a hostile planet, and other armies, other groups of people have been plotting against the demise of Atreides. So that is essentially the plot for the first half of the film. And let's get the elephant of the room out of the way first. This film is gorgeous. It is freaking beautiful. Every single shot of this film could be a wallpaper. I'm not even kidding. It is absolutely stunning. And no, Roger Deakins isn't behind the cinematography of this film. No, he's not the DP of this film. The DP is a guy by the name of Greg Fraser. And I kind of respect that Denis Villeneuve didn't try to follow the steps of Jodorowsky and make Dune this super eccentric, psychedelic, colorful thing. In fact, color-wise, it's very natural and grounded, but there are still a lot of incredibly breathtaking and stellar visuals that are incredible in scale, gargantuan, beastly, but also having a great respect for nature, and it is just very beautiful. The lighting, the production design is amazing as well. It is a very surreal mix of nature and then very cultural arts. I don't know how to describe it, but Dune has its own thing, and while it takes inspirations from maybe Arabic art and maybe a bit of Gothic art, it's still its own thing. So we can really see that in Dune's production design, and it is brilliant. I love it. Another thing about this film that I have to note is that it is very slow paced, especially the first half. The first half is very, very slow, and a lot of people may not be able to enjoy this. But if you have been watching Denis Villeneuve's work, you know that he likes to take things slow and explore the more poignant and poetic side of things. And when that style is applied to Dune, it actually gives Dune an even more gargantuan and beastly quality, like a giant, unfathomable universe that we mortals cannot compute. And it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. I don't mind the slow pace, not at all. And recently, Denis Villeneuve has given an interview where he sort of disses the Marvel universe a little bit. So there are a lot of Marvel fans who are also Villeneuve haters, but don't mind them, because Dune it's a good one. It's a pretty good film. That being said, though, Dune is not without its flaws. Something's missing. I don't know what is missing, but something's missing. Now, Dune is a long ass film. It is 2.5 hours long, and it is only the part one. There's going to be a part two, maybe even a part three. I mean, to be able to squash the entire story into 5.5 to 6 hours long is already a really impressive feat. But anyways, it takes a long time for me to digest this film because it is such a long and complex film, and I just kind of don't know how to feel about it. To be honest, I mean, even as I'm reviewing it now, I still don't know how should I feel about this film. But I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. In comparison with other sci-fi greats, I don't think Dune is up there. I love Dune. I think it is a great film, but I don't think it's that great. I feel like something's missing, and I don't know what it is. Usually when I watch a sci-fi epic or a fantasy epic, there's usually at least one scene or more scenes that stick out to me, that stand out, that stick in my mind. But I can't really find one scene in Dune that really stuck with me. And another thing with Dune is that the music isn't really that great. Hans Zimmer, a legendary composer, is behind Dune. And I feel like Hans Zimmer's earlier works in, Nolan films and other films and series are way better and way more memorable than Dune. Because when I was going to Dune, I was actually expecting the music to be incredibly... I don't know how to describe it. I'm fine with the soundtrack being kind of experimental, a mix of noise and different sounds, and I actually kind of love that. But when I go into Dune, I was expecting motifs, light motifs, like the Arrakis theme, the Fremen theme, the Sandworm theme, the Harkonnen theme, this theme, that theme, and the main theme. I was expecting gargantuan, multifaceted pieces like these themes and light motifs. I guess I was just a little bit let down by that. But I guess another thing about Dune that I'd like to say is that Denis Villeneuve's style is very poetic and slow, and I like that, but there are some scenes where it's supposed to be very emotional and powerful, and because of his style, it sort of takes the emotions and the weight out of the scene. And in some aspect I kind of like that, but also in some aspect it makes it a little bit emptier. So that is the aspect of the film that I'd like to digest on a little bit longer. I mean, adapting Dune is not easy. Dune is a novel from a very long time ago, so a lot of the things in Dune, like flying vehicles and the girl of the dreams, visions, fat tall villain, things like this are very cliche now, but when it is written in the 1960s, it is crazy. It is totally brand new. It is groundbreaking. But we're not in the 60s anymore. It is 2021. So to bring these tropes back and make them feel refreshing is actually kind of a difficult job. And from what I can see in Dune, it is very clear and obvious that Denis Villeneuve still has an immense passion and respect for the source material. And I guess I'm just going to leave it at that. So Dune is a great one. I highly recommend. One of the best films to come out this year so far. Is it perfect? I don't think so. But it's still a really good one. And yeah. I'm giving Dune Part 1 a strong 8 out of 10. So, have you watched Dune from 1 to 10? How much rate it, like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Oh, by the way, I watched Dune with Leo yesterday, so shout out to Leo.